How are you this morning?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm happy to be back in Colorado. I was in Atlanta for a while, so back home. Or for
It's
Friday. That's good.
very pleasant to be home, I'm sure. Hey,
Yeah.
Sue, also on the phone with us, we have Trip Gotten. He's our product manager in our Henderson, Nevada office.
And what was
How
your
you
first
doing,
name?
Sue?
Trip?
Yeah, Trip.
Very nice to meet you. Thank you.
Nice to meet you, Sue.
So I've explained who you are, Sue, to Trip, and we talked yesterday. And we put together a little agenda for you to go through, show you some of the features of RIO Genesis that we think would really benefit investability in your guys' disposition model. And so we'll go ahead and get started. I don't know if you have any preliminary questions or anything you'd like to bring up before we start.
No, not really.
Okay, excellent. Well, we'll get going.
Alrighty, sweet. Oh. Want me to get going?
Sure, let's go.
Alright, sweet. So first off, just to give you a little background to RIO. RIO is, if you're ever familiar with like Salesforce, RIO kind of has a lot of the capabilities of Salesforce, but it's also tailored towards real estate. So you'll kind of see a kind of a fine mix of like a company that's tailored towards real estate and something that's customized with Salesforce. First of all, what I'm going to kind of do is go through a couple of the basic functions and then get into like how a transaction would kind of flow and what you would actually do to collect data points and whatnot from RIO. So first thing is, first of all, I know white labeling is pretty big for you guys, making sure that when one of your users or one of your staff members goes to log in to RIO or whatever software, that it looks like it's actually your software, is not associated with RIO. We actually already have that built in. It's under our branding.
I'm going to dial in on my phone because you're getting kind of garbly, so I'm going to keep listening. If I drop, just give me 2 seconds. I'll do that at the same time.
Okay, no problem.
But it's, yeah.
I think we're okay to go, Trip. I think she just muted so that there wasn't any feedback.
Okay, we're good to go. Okay. So right here what I have is a list of like 2 brandings that we kind of created. You can pretty much make it here to where you create your own background color. It'll have the name of your company, and you can put your logo here, and they can log in right through here instead of going to the front page of RIO to log in. So that just creates like a feeling of you're logging into your system, not RIO Genesis' system. So that's a feature. And next, what I kind of want to go over is how you deal with staff members and creating roles within the company. With RIO, it's all fully customizable, and you can set permissions for each role, so you can control on what they can and cannot do throughout your office. So for instance, here I'm going to go to manage roles. On the left here, you see a list of all the roles that have been created, and you can even see the permissions next to them to show what each role can actually do within the company. And in the middle here, you see a hierarchy, which does have a special set of rules of a parent-child relationship. Basically, who's in charge of who, it does set certain rules in the system, so that you can create a hierarchy within the system.
And just so you're aware, Sue, the roles can be, you can create roles. Those aren't just kind of hard-coded roles in there that you have to use. You can create roles for internal buyer's agents, external buyer's agents, all different types of roles can be created and named. So that's totally customizable.
Yeah, so for instance, like right here, I click to add a staff role. You can enter whatever name you want for that staff role, and then once it's created, you go in there and set the permissions. And then after that, you would go to, after that, you should have a staff member created, like in here. And you can come in here and attach that role, which you see over here on the right, to that staff member, and then those permissions are automatically applied. So literally, once you hire a new person within your company or a new staff member, all you have to do is attach that role to them, and they're already set up in the system. As easy as that. And of course, after you attach that role with a default standard permission, you can also do an individual permission at any time. So you can individually add or take away permissions if it's ever needed, permission by the staff member. So if you want to go even into more detail than the actual role, you can. All right, so that kind of covers like a lot of the back pieces, like the staffing and staff management and the white labeling. Next, I'm going to kind of go into to the settings that actually will help you to manage and do transactions. First off, I know a big thing in real estate is how verbiage is different across different companies. Everybody calls the same thing a different name. So the nomenclature is completely different.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah.
You're back. I've been trying to, no, I've been listening the whole time. I've been chatting with you on the webinar to ask you to unmute me, so I had to call.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Alrighty, so right here we have the Manage Property Attributes section. So basically what this section is all about is you can literally take any data point that you want and add it to a property or a transaction for yourself. So it's kind of like Salesforce in a way, except that I've been in Salesforce. This is a lot easier than Salesforce. So you can come in here and click under, let's say, eviction firm information, and you can even customize these too. You don't have to use these. But you can come in here, click Add New Property Extension. You can select what type of extension it is, which an extension is just like an attribute. So maybe you want to track a date type of attribute. You would come in here, add this, and then you give it a name. Let's say let's just give it a weird name, Donald Duck's birth. See, so now that's added to our property attributes. So now inside of a property, under the eviction firm information, there should be a field called Donald Duck's birth. So now, right now, what we're doing is going into a property. I'm going to go ahead and edit. So now you'll see under eviction firm information, which is right here highlighted, we have Donald Duck's birth, which is a date field. So now that field is created. And now on any property or any transaction you do, you can go ahead and easily enter in the information that you need. And not only is that field there and now attached to the property, but you can also report off of it. So at the end of the day, when you run your reports, or in the beginning of the day when you're running your reports, you can come in here, and under the properties report over here, there will be a field now right here that's highlighted called Donald Duck's birth. So now you add that to your report, and you can report off Donald Duck's birth. So every single property that you have in the system, it'll take in that field value of Donald Duck's birth. So it's pretty cool. You just saw me in 5 minutes create a field, attach it to the property, so now you can pull data from that field. And that's kind of an example of the manner in which RIO is kind of Salesforce-y, to where you can easily make.
So you might have said this when I was dropped the phone call. Since I have zero knowledge of the overarching view of RIO Genesis, can you hit the high spot first, and then I can go in and I know the specific questions and the things that I want. But I need to know, do you have a CRM? Can you task agents? Can you grade agents? Can you make sure that they're uploading their license? Can you do offer runway? Do you have those kinds of things? And
Definitely.
I'm assuming that's yes, but I need to see it just super fast.
Definitely. Okay, so I'll go into that right now. So for instance, right before this meeting, I did create an offer from one of the agent standpoint, and I'll bring that page over. So this is kind of what an agent's view would look like. And I just created this offer, and the billing coordinator is Jimmy Hendricks, and we have all this information about the offer. And there's, of course, a lot more information. So that property is 15 York Ridge Court. So now this is on your guys' side, so where you're going to have offer management. I'm going to go into 15 York Ridge Court and go to the Offers tab. And you'll see here that I have that same offer here. So I'm going to go ahead and click that offer. And here you'll see all the information that's filled out about that offer. And you can reply to it, accept, reject, hold, counter. All that information is here. And you can even go as far as creating a secure link here for it. So if you need to basically escalate that offer to anybody else and you need to send it out, you can actually create a data or a day cap on it, let's say 3 days. And you're going to send it to a specific email, and that offer will be sent to them, and that link will only be available for 3 days. So you kind of put a
So
time.
what does that platform look like that the agent uses, and do you have signature capability and forms integrated? What does that look like?
Yeah, so for instance, I know a big piece for you guys is going to be your forms and be able to create customizable forms that you can send out to an agent, and they get it and they fill it out and then reply back, which in our system we would just call a simple task. So one example of this is, first of all, I want to hit on creating customizable forms. So in here we have these things called task templates. Which are basically tasks that have some sort of template background to them or forms for them to fill out. We can do something as simple as like a bid submission form, which is just simply one field for them to fill out. Or we even have things such as BPO templates, which are extremely large with hundreds of fields. So basically how this works is we have these task templates here that you can task to an agent, and it'll pull up that task template. So basically, if we went to a property, and this is going to be the manual way of doing this, I'm going to show you the automatic way of doing this in a bit. But if I come in here and I go to tasks, I can come in here, create a task for an agent, and we can attach the task template here. So that'll mean this BPO template will attach to this task. So that way when the actual agent gets this task, they will have that form to fill out. And not only that, we can make it so that once they fill out the form, that the fields within the actual property, the details tab, like all these fields that you go to when you first view the property, are automatically filled out from that task template. So I'm going to kind of reiterate that. I know that's a weird angle, but basically you would send out a task, they filled out the fields. Let's say it's a field that they filled out that you want to automatically update, like an evaluation area or whatnot. We can make it so it automatically the field maps to that attribute on the property. So it'll automatically fill it out. Now that's the manual way of doing it. Now what I want to kind of show you is the automatic way, which is what you're probably going to be most interested in. So we have this section here called workflow on our system. So these are all events that could happen in a property, and we can of course add more. These are kind of our default events, but we have items such as like property offer rejected, property offer received, property offer retracted, property assignment accepted. There's tons of, and some of this is verbiage only for RIO. That's kind of different, but I mean you'll get used to it. But the whole point here is these are events that actually happen in the system. And for instance, let me see one that might have workflow attached. Probably have property offer accepted. Yeah. So like this, for instance, is we call something a property assignment, which is basically anytime you assign a property to an agent and they accept it, this is the workflow that's going to happen as soon as they accept that assignment. So for instance, this one's a BPO. What this is saying is anytime a property assignment is accepted, there's going to be a trigger called BPO that applies to the assignment method of BPO agent. So anytime a BPO agent is accepting this assignment, they're going to send out this BPO, and this task is going to get sent out. And of course here you see the task template available, so it's going to get sent out with the task template for them to fill out the BPO. So this is all automated. This is where you come in here, you set up your business rules, you set up your business model, and it's an easy button the rest of the way there. It automatically sends out all these tasks, all these messages. You can add emails automatically sent out. You can merge documents automatically. All of it is automated here.
Okay.
And this also works with internal. So if you ever need to task somebody internally inside your system, you can do that as well.
Okay, so I think you have every little micro need that I would ever want for in the weeds. It's just a matter of setting that up in the beginning. Do you have templates that asset managers use that we wouldn't have to customize everything and you just have it basically set up as a generic and then we could tweak it? Or do I have to start from scratch and do every little field, every inspection I have to put in there 24 hours and DPO 72 hours?
Oh, no. When you board with us, we actually do the task templates for you.
Okay.
So basically you would give us an example of like a form that you would want to use or you regularly use. We go in there and make it for you. Because the task templating and creation is a little bit more intuitive, and we're used to it. So it's easier for you to come to us and say, hey, we need this, and we do it real quick for you.
And do you have if we send them a document, do you have a way that they can sign a DocuSign-ish type thing?
Yes, so I actually created something like that for you before this as well. This is an example of our DocuSign here. So for instance, and what it does is when you send out a DocuSign, it takes the site, you can accept, create signature, place your signatures,
Got it.
initial, and then this gets sent back to the system. They can do it.
Okay, sweet. So, so let me just ask you some. I see that this is extremely robust, and it's way prettier than your competition. So I don't know if that helps you or not.
Oh, well, I haven't even showed you the new UI. We're actually developing a new UI. I'll show you the video at the end of this thing if we have time.
Okay.
But we're actually developing a new UI as well.
So just answer these yes, no without going into the deep dive, okay?
For sure.
Okay. So do you have a CRM that you put people in who you, for the client, not the agent, that you say, okay, we assigned this person to an agent, we need to drip on them, like a Salesforce type interface? Do you have that in there? So this is like a buyer, not an agent.
Buyer. So
I get a call, hey, I'm interested in this house on 123 Main Street. Hey, great. Well, and then so you incubate that lead or you whatever, and you enter that lead, you assign it to Jim at Remax, and then, but you still are able to track that client separate from Jim or see how that client's been contacted if they've been assigned to Jim.
Oh, yes, we actually talked about that. So, or me and Jason were talking about that.
Trip and I had a lengthy conversation yesterday.
So that can actually be done through the task templates. So yes, it can be done, yes.
Okay.
I know I
so
don't want to
that's okay, and we can look at that, and that's cool. So second question is, what is your grading rubric, or what does that look like for an agent? Is there a time frame, the 72 hours, the 24 hours, that does it automatically grade the agent when you send them a task to see how they perform so you know whether or not to assign them the next task? What's that look like?
I mean, so we have something like a dashboard here that tracks their tasks and tracks what they can and cannot do with percentages on timing and whatnot. If you need an actual custom rubric, we can program that in for you. almost like a custom add-on. So that basically it generates a number, but of course that's specific to your algorithm that you use to do it. So we would need to know that algorithm so we can implement that.
I don't even know if you know my background at all or even know this system, but when I was working with Amory, we did the asset management for Matt Martin for a couple of years there in 2010, whatever. And we built our own platform, Amos. And what we did was, if they did it in 24 hours, they get 5 stars. If they did it in 42 hours, they get 4 stars or whatever. So at the end of the day, those people were automatically graded on how well they met their timeline. And then when the next property came up, you first chose by zip code, and then all the 5-star agents would bubble to the top. And so that's kind of what I'm looking for. If I'm assigning agents, how I grade them on their past performance before I assign the next property, or is it auto-assigned? Both.
Gotcha. So yeah, you can do auto-assigning. We have auto-assigning available. Sorry, I know you wanted a yes or no, but this is kind of something you kind of need to see.
That's okay. It was kind of a complicated one.
Yeah. So like right here, we have our agent assigning here. I mean, it would be here, and you can come in here. You can view the agent, and it says easily is adding a field there that has a value of 1 through 5 if you want, and gathering your algorithm that you want to use in order to test it. So I mean, we of course have all the data points of when they finish tasks and all that. That would be very easy to modify one field for you guys.
Okay. Okay. All right. So next question. So show me the dashboard. How many properties do I have under contract? What's my expected revenue over what time? What does that look like?
So here's kind of the dashboard. This is dashboard by tasks, properties by clients, properties by portfolio, properties by status, to be kind of a visual representation of
client, because that's where we get more business. How are we doing for this particular client? So
yeah. And we don't have very many properties in the system, so it's not as intuitive, but of course, like you only have like 4 because of the demo account, but the more you have, of course, the better those numbers will be.
So if I have 6 under contract and 25 just listed and 5 closed, can I export that report? I know that the client can log in and see their own stuff, but we might want to email them a report. What does that look like?
Definitely. So you would just go to the report section, and we have this section here called Memorize Reports, which you can always memorize a report. So basically when you run it once, it's memorized so you can run it again very easily. And you just come in here, click it, and you're going to run it. And it's going to spit out like this, and you can export it as an Excel spreadsheet and then send it off to them.
Your competition does not have that feature, and that's huge. And I can save that Excel on my desktop and then email. So tell me about emailing in and out of this system. I think I saw a little video on that.
Yeah, so this is the communication center here. So basically we have 2 different types of inboxes. We have a company inbox and a personal inbox. And of course that's separated by permissions and separated out. And you attach every email to a property and a transaction. And then you have a 2, you can CC all your staff. And also from here, of course, you have all your pictures and documents for every transaction inside the system. So that makes it easier for us to grab the documents from inside the system. So let's say you click, 123 Lollipop Lane, and you click RIO document. It's going to pull the document or the documents from that property to be able to attach. Same with the photos. It'll pull all the photos so you can attach a photo to it.
So show me how my transaction manager, that's awesome, by the way. Show me how my transaction manager uploads photos.
So you can just come over here to property and then go to photo or bulk photo document upload. And then you're going to select the property, add files. Or you can also do drag and drop. That's what most people do. Here, I'm going to show you that. It's a little bit better. So you just come in here, drag and drop it right there, and it's going to start the flow.
Okay. And when you bulk upload a tape into the system, is there a way to include photos in there, or do they all have to be done manually?
I'm not sure. Can you ask that one more time? I'm sorry.
By bulk uploading a tape, she means bulk uploading like a number of properties. So let's say they they purchased a portfolio of like 500 properties, that would be considered a tape.
Gotcha. So like a bulk upload of photos for different properties. No, I don't believe we have that capability, honestly, to kind of upload photos and then the system automatically recognize what property they would go to in bulk.
Even if it was a field in my Excel, an FTP site or something? No. Okay, all right, that's fine. Nobody's doing that, and I just was hoping maybe somebody figured it out.
That's a sweet idea, though. That is sweet.
You know, that's a good, yeah, that's a good note, Sue.
Yeah, right now we've got drag drop-itis over here, man. Okay. Okay, so I interrupted your whole presentation. Now, what did you actually want to show me?
Well, you know what's funny too is most everything you asked for when you jumped in and said, I want to see X, Y, and Z, is almost exactly what Tripp and I spoke about yesterday to put into this agenda. So.
Well,
I would say a couple more things to add. First of all, we do have the ability to vault properties. And like here it says, close and archive or export this new property. So basically what that means is when we archive it, we send it to the vault, which means it's kept safe. You know, we have a place that we're keeping all these files very safe, and it zips into a format to where it's not going to clutter your system and your active properties. And from there, you can always pull photos and documents from that vault.
Okay. Show me your vendor expense and task management. Sorry, I got it.
Did you say expenses?
Vendor, like I want to, the property pres, somebody needs to go switch out the lockbox, or somebody needs to do another BPO, completely different person do a BPO, or assign the broken window thing. So what does that look like? So I have 1,000 vendors, and I want to choose the one.
Oh, well, are you talking about automatic, or are you talking about manual?
Show me both.
Okay, so let me see if that activation is on here. Yeah, so we actually have something here called a select a preferred vendor from the preferred vendor network. This one here is for property preservation, but we can also do other types of vendors here, and we can actually click by zip code. So you would select, I selected Nevada, so it populated all the Nevada zip codes, and you can select for the, right here, what type of, so let's say 89124, and then we have closing for it. We're going to create this. Now I'm going to add a vendor, and now anytime you have that type of situation, it's going to automatically assign it to the vendor. So that's our auto assigning to a vendor. If you want to manually assign, that's all based off the property. So we're going to come in here. We would go to the connection center of the property, add a new assignment for a vendor, and you can search by city, state, zip.
Good.
And of course, you know, if we decide to do the rating system, we'll be able to make it so you can search by rating. Yeah, it's because we have nothing. This is a demo, so we have nothing there right now.
So in theory, you assign it to Bob's lawn service or whatever, and can you invoice them out of the system?
Yeah, so we actually have an expenses tab here.
Okay.
Of property. So this is going to be requested expenses, your pending submitted expenses in process, paid submitted, canceled expenses. This is your own little system to keep track of making sure you get your money, or making sure if the agent's requesting money, making sure you pay them correctly. And it tracks and flows everything, the whole expense, through the whole expense process.
Okay, so, and my accounting department can see this or not see this depending on permissions that I set up. Can you put,
exactly,
like, okay, I want to email the client this summary weekly. Can you set up that auto drip from your Excel export, even though they're supposed to be logging in on their own, blah, 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 but they don't? So
yeah, so we can go to reports and then run a report based off the expenses of the property. And you can, of course, create this a memorized report, like I said earlier, so there's fields in here for the expenses. You'll be able to just run the report and send it off to your client.
No, but I wanted to send it every Friday to the same person.
Oh, like an auto
Yeah.
auto send for that. We don't have that capability right now. No.
Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. So when I look at my property dashboard of tasks that my staff has to accomplish today, some kind of dashboard you got going on or something. So what does my transaction manager log into and see every day? Yeah, do, past due. Okay, good. So they know what they need to work today.
Yeah, and we have like different colors for, you know, stuff that's past due, stuff that's within 3 days, and then stuff that's more than 3 days. As far as color coded,
Like
so it's easy.
how old is the person who set up these demos with Jimi Hendrix and Carlos Santana? Really?
Yeah.
And Joe
This was set up a while ago.
You're the very first person to notice that.
Or is a classic rocker, because that's pretty freaking awesome.
You know, that's Crystal crying. That's Mike's wife. She set that up, and she'll be very pleased to hear that you noticed that.
Absolutely, man. Although I don't know who Cal Wilkenfield is. That looks like a fake name, but. Okay.
And one other thing I really want to show you here, this is a video that I kind of created for the up-and-coming new UI. So this is going to be kind of what the system will look like when we're done with the new UI. We're hoping for the client side, which is going to be the side that you're on, is by the end of this year. But yeah, just going to take a look over at RIO Genesis. I just wanted to make a quick video to show you guys a more modern look and get started. So as you guys see here, it is a much more modern look. We have a side navigation bar and then the top map. Now, one thing about the side navigation bar, you know, it leads to every single item that you could in RIO Genesis, so it's a little bit easier. And there's a little bit of animations to make it look a little bit more modern.
Zoe, that's funny.
And the main page is scrollable. Also, the side navigation is scrollable, totally separate. And no matter what point you are on the main content page, you can always scroll the side nav to be able to go. We have our photo album and instant message up at the top.
Well, you're already superior to your competition in UI, but this is even better, it looks like, huh?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Wait until you see it's actually mobile optimized as well.
Nice.
Right. So next thing.
So can they take their inspection photos from their mobile app and upload it in here?
Yes, exactly. And the thing about it is not even an app. You don't even have to actually download an app. It's the web page that will automatically respond.
Oh, sure. Okay.
To the RIOGenesis.com, and the page will automatically read that you're on a mobile device, so that will automatically respond to it. As you see here, you just saw a couple animations there that are really sweet.
Nice.
Very easy to navigate, very user-friendly, very modernized. So you'll be able to switch in and out of certain modules.
I can't really hear it, but I get it.
Yeah. We have our instant message system here. That does take up the full size of the screen, just like it would. So yeah, I didn't even mention that. We do have like a Facebook chat type of system in our system. So if someone needs to talk within your office, all they have to do is like live chat, like just like Facebook. And it's all recorded and audited so that if a manager needs to look over anything like that, they can.
Okay. All right. So let me ask you this. Okay, let's say we have a client and we onboard 500 properties, but we also need to have some kind of an API out to our website or an API in from our website to yours. Is that all in existence? What's the API language look like? Is it Will? Is it
we're built on MySQL and PHP, which is completely like, I mean, it's so, the reason we're built on that is because you can literally do anything with it. It's such a custom language. So, and in doing that, API feeds are very easy for us to be able to create.
Both in and out?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, what about technical support and I forgot my password, all that stuff?
Yeah, so I mean, of course, password situations, I mean, we have our own pathways built into the system to be able to handle, but of course sometimes that's not enough. So we do have support here. Right now, Jeff, what are we at for our support hours?
8 to 5.
8 to 5 on Monday through Friday.
Okay.
And yeah, told me that we're trying to, get our staffing up and get it organized so that we'll be able to do 24/7, and even on the weekend. So we're trying to figure that out, but that's not, that's not going to be, I'd say, probably until maybe the end of the year.
So is there a different style sheet for the agent versus the asset manager? Because I always get confused toggling back and forth if I'm in as an agent. You know what I mean?
No, I'm really not sure.
Show me that.
Say that one more time.
So I was just curious, like when you toggle back and forth between what an agent sees and what the asset manager is seeing. So you've assigned an agent a task, and sometimes you log in as them, or sometimes you have your own task. So does the skin look different for the agent side versus the asset manager side?
No, they look the exact same.
So you don't
So
really know
like
what you're in.
by style sheet, if you mean like this, like if you mean the CSS styling, CSS styling is very close. Here,
Make one blue, one green, or something. Honestly, it's so frustrating. We had the same problem.
Like this is what an agency is. You can see the tabs are completely different. So like that's in the side, but as far as the actual styling, it's the same.
Okay, so let me just take a second here because I made you go so fast. Let's look at those agent tabs again. I want to see what they see.
Oh, before I even go into that, they can see whatever you let them see. So we actually, let me show you that question. We have manage AMC vendors, and you can edit tab visibility to tab on and off what they can and cannot see.
Nice. That's cool. Yeah. That's great. That's really great.
Pretty robust system, isn't it?
It is. So you guys have been working on it for, let's see, was it 2013, 2012 you started it?
Yeah, well, we've had this for, it's about that time, but we have this side, which is going to be your side of the system, but we have a completely other side of the system, which is the RIO office, where we hold all our agents and vendors, which is completely different.
So let's talk about that. So would we be able to access your RIO agents and assign them tasks? I know they'd like that, but how are they vetted? Do I have to do that individually? Do your clients share agents? How's that work?
Yeah, you should have access. I don't know. I think that depends on. Jason, how about you go ahead and answer that?
Well, anybody in the system too that's an agent that has a full account is able to be seen by any client on the system. There are going to be clients that we have on the system where the agents just have a portal account specific to that particular client. And if it's not a full account that the agent has paid for, they're not visible to anybody but that client. But we have, like we said, and I mentioned this to you the other day, we've got the NRBA members on there, which is a nationwide network. And we're actually in the process, just so you're aware, of broadening the number of agents that we have on the system with a new sign-up program that Mike is putting into effect. So I anticipate by most likely year-end, we're going to have probably double to triple the coverage that we've got right now.
So you require them to upload their license and their insurance. Does this system trigger when they're out of date, or can I look at all those docs? What's that look like?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, Trip can take you into an agent's profile and show you that. In fact, Trip, why don't you look up in Ohio, I call her Mo, but I can't think of her real name. Hold on. Oh, shoot. Where am I blanking out her name? I believe she's in Cleveland. Very bottom one, Maureen. Or Mo, as everybody calls her. great agent if you need one in Ohio there, too.
So like here we have all their documentation, so you can literally just click it and download it. You see how the hand comes up?
Let me read her bio, just because you put her in front of me now. Okay. All right. Okay, so what about, I'm going to have an internal form that they have to agree to when they sign up with me. It's, you know, we never do anything wrong, everything's always your fault kind of document. And so they're going to have to agree to that in order to receive assets from that. Can I do that? Let's say you have people in the system already, but I want to start assigning them assets. Is there a hurdle that they need to get over? Is there a way to do that they have to sign that before I can assign them anything?
Yeah, essentially what that looks like is when you assign an agent, and I'll let Trip go into this, but it's essentially like passing them a listing agreement, right?
Right. Okay.
Yeah, so you can generate and actually upload your own listing agreement. It's called an assignment, and in this assignment method, you can attach a listing agreement to it. You see assignment agreement here. And,
gotcha.
And when they get it, they actually read the assignment agreement, and then it's going to have a space there with an X and a big line for them to type their name, and it's going to look like italics, like signature signing, and then they click accept, and then that means they've accepted it, and they've legally abided to the agreement that you have.
Okay. So let's say, well, I have different clients. Here's something that we actually designed, and I haven't seen anybody has this yet. So we have a master listing agreement that everybody signs, and yes, I'm willing to do that. And then for each property, they have to have an actual state-specific form that has the listing price, the expiration date, blah, blah, blah. Is there a way that, or do you have a form that auto-populates that data into the form, and so then when they accept that specific listing, they can sign that one property individually? Does that make sense?
So basically what you want is when you assign an agent a property, there's a task, or for us it would be a task that gets sent out with data fields already filled out so that they need to be able to see and accept back to you.
Right.
We have that.
Okay, sweet. Do you have an interface with zip forms at all, so my state-specific forms could be constantly, if they wanted to use zip forms or we wanted to include zip forms so every state is current?
We don't. I mean, right now, I mean, we can. If that would be a probably discussion between you and Mike. But right now, how we deal with our users is we make it so that you come to us so that we can fill out the form, just because it's a little bit more intuitive. But maybe if you have a tech guy that's a little bit better at or creating the forms or understanding how to do the forms, it should be possible. It's really honestly not that hard to create the forms, but it is a little bit more intuitive. So we try to take on that task for you guys. And usually you only need to do it once, but if you're in a situation to where you do need to update your forms, then I think that's going to be essential for you to have access to them.
Yeah. So normally when an agent, kind of back to the offer runway thing, when an agent makes an offer, do they form fill everything out first, and then after everything's agreed on internally, then they put the actual contract together, or just review that? I know I probably could do whatever I want, but show me what the standard is.
Let me think. See how we can get by that. That should all be done in the workflow, because of course you want that type of flow to be automated. So
yeah, so maybe send me to the offer page if I'm an agent and I'm going to put an offer in.
okay, if you're an agent and you're putting in an offer, you would come here to offers, add offer, and you fill out this information. They click create offer, automatically uploaded inside the RIO system on the other side.
So it's not signed by the buyer, but the agent creates the offer, and when it's accepted, then you go back and sign an actual contract, or what? Or is it
me think here. Yeah, so that would probably be the next flow there, because you can actually come into the workflow here and click property offer like accepted on here. And then as soon as it's accepted, then you can send out a contract to them that they sign.
Show me a property that has an accepted offer that you have as a demo in here.
I don't have one that has an accepted offer. I have one that actually has an offer submitted, though. That way, I guess we can go ahead and accept. So we can come in here, come down here, and then click accept. And then as soon as they click accept, we can make it so the system automatically sends them out a contract to sign.
But you don't have that currently.
Have what currently?
That
So where they send out a contract?
Right.
No, we do. Yeah, we do. It's in the workflow here. So we would come in workflow. We would create a property offer accepted. This is the event that happens. We add a task that sends a task to them to sign a document. And we can attach the document.
You do attach the document. So like if it's in Mississippi versus Colorado versus whatever, that agent has to use the correct forms plus some more forms that we're going to burden them with. I guess.
All the addendums that you're going to send them.
Yeah. Just because we're fun and we have lawyers. Okay. All right.
So yeah, anything like that would be handled through workflow, especially if it's a repetitive thing that happens all the time.
Right.
And you want to do that in workflow, so you would task them pretty much to, as soon as the offer is accepted, to fill out the documentation. And you can even, I mean, honestly, one thing that you could even do, I don't know if this is lawful per se for contracts, but you can actually, what you can do is, how we have these task templates here. I don't know if you could, we can just fill this with the text of the contract and maybe even fill out. And as soon as they're done with that task template, you can actually print that task to PDF, which, let's see if I can find a task I can kind of show you what that means.
I mean, I just don't know how you make it binding without using a state-specific form. If they fill out an offer.
Right here, you have an I agree section here.
Gotcha.
And I'm not quite sure how this task was created, but as soon as they're done doing this, you can click here to pop-ups, and then it binds it into an actual PDF of the task.
Okay. I wish I would have talked to you guys a month ago. So I'm so far down the pipe with Realty Pilot, and one of my problems is our vendor management internally takes so long to vet companies that like it's 2 months or a month or whatever, and I need to go. So how much does it cost? I know I'm going to talk about that with Mike.
Hey, Jason.
No answer.
I'm sorry, too. I didn't exactly hear all you said.
All I said was, how much does it cost?
Oh, well, that's why we have a call with you and Mike scheduled for an hour from now.
I know. Okay, fair enough. Hey, Tripp, you're awesome.
Hey.
This is quite a product you guys have. It's really great.
Definitely. Thank you so much.
It's very
we appreciate your nice compliments, Sue. And I was very glad that Celeste set up the call because I was excited to get to show you the system because, like I said, I don't, none of us speak poorly about our competition, but we truly believe we have the best product on the market and would be an excellent fit for Investability.
Well, it would. I'm just so far down the pike with Realty Pilot. So, but we haven't signed anything, so you never know. Okay, well, I'll talk with Mike this afternoon, and I appreciate this is years of work. You can tell you guys are very thoughtful, and detail-oriented and have had a lot of user interaction, it looks like, and corrected stuff, and looks like you're pretty far down, way past beta, and are even going to make it even prettier, so yeah.
Well, remember, Sue, you haven't signed anything, and when you do sign something, you want to sign for the right product that's going to be with you for a long time.
You're in sales. I hear that right now. I'm kidding. You're right, but you're right. You're right. You're absolutely right. All right, team. Well, thank you so much, and to be continued.
Thank you, Sue.
All right.
And good luck in your conversation with Mike, and have a great weekend.
Thank you, sir. All right, bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.